the New York Football Giants. You have a ring from them, a Super Bowl. And the owner is John Mara. And So Ian O'Connor, who used to write for us at ESPN, does a great job. He was in the New York Post. He talked about Daniel Jones. And this is the quote about Daniel Jones. He said, first of all, about the Giant roster, John Mara, the owner of the Giants, said that he feels the roster is, quote, good enough to make the playoffs after some of the moves they've made so far in the offseason. He said Kenny Golladay was not a top target. Fans can't call us cheap anymore after all that they have spent. But when asked if Daniel Jones, their young quarterback, can win a Super Bowl, his response was, quote, without hesitation. You agree?
I don't know how he can say that definitively based on what we've seen from DJ his first couple of years. I mean, Al, he's got 39 turnovers in 2 seasons starting. It's hard to win consistently when your quarterback is turning the ball over 20 times a year. So for John Mara to come out and say that he can, definitively say that Daniel Jones is going to be the guy to lead us to championships like Eli Manning did once upon a time, I just don't know how you make that statement. Now, you can like some of the characteristics of the player. You can like his sports character. You can like his mentality, how he approaches his craft. But based on the production or lack thereof, there's no way you can have conviction that Daniel Jones is your guy moving forward, which is why you went out in free agency and paid Kenny Golladay $18 million a year. Am I wrong, Jay?
No, you're right. But see, I think this is John Mara saying, hey, look, a lot of people aren't sure. You're not sure. I'm not sure about Danny Dimes. I sometimes believe Danny Dimes probably isn't sure about Danny Dimes. We've all had these moments as a player sometimes. You might be confident, but still, like until you reach that pinnacle, you're not always sure. But I love the fact that as an owner, he's coming out, and if I'm reading this article, if I'm Danny Dimes, I'm saying, damn right. Yeah, okay. Like my owner believes in me. Like that's a huge signal for somebody that you have to have somebody believe in you. And I feel like that's more what John Mara is trying to do here. Like he may have questions, but not by saying, I'm not going to go to the media and say, well, I have questions about our quarterback or no comment. No, I believe in Danny Dimes. And I want to see how Danny Dimes steps up after an owner says, I believe in my quarterback. When so many other owners or GMs have said, he's our quarterback for now. Mm-hmm. I mean, it would have been easy for John Mara to say he's our quarterback for now.
I think that's the key point here, though, is what was he supposed to say to that question? I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll find out. Any of that, anything like that would suggest uncertainty. Any of that would be the headline. So if you're going to make a headline anyway, make it in the positive.
Yes.
Put that support behind your quarterback because clearly he's your guy, at least for another couple of years until you have to make that decision on the fifth-year option and going forward. So this would be the year. And we felt like after all the changes they've made, all the moves that they've made, the addition to the offense with Golladay, we'll see about Kyle Rudolph, of course, trying to get that offensive line back on track, the defense better, and they improved a lot last year. It's sort of like, okay, all eyes are on you, Danny. All eyes on Danny Dimes, and if he can be that guy now to take all these weapons and make this team in that division, make this team a champion. They parallel a lot of Daniel Jones with Eli Manning, personality-wise, not necessarily the way they play, but a lot of the mannerisms are the same. So I think if you're the owner, you have to put that kind of support behind him. But 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776. Is it irrational confidence behind Daniel Jones? Is it too soon? Or do we feel like, no, he's got the ability to do it because the turnovers are not necessarily throwing to the other team as much as it is just ball security, right? Right, Chris? Isn't that the bigger issue?
No.
Is that more fixable than a bad read throwing the football?
Well, I mean, turnovers are turnovers. Okay. I think that when you look at it, you have to be able to cut down on that. And I would probably argue, Alan, that the fumbles are more disturbing than the interceptions. When you look at the wide receiver core that he's had, you don't really have a lot of guys in that core with dominant traits. You don't have a true number one receiver, which is why they went out and spent so much money on Golladay. So you could kind of understand why Daniel Jones would have some interceptions trying to force the ball down the field to receivers that don't necessarily have the kind of talent that Kenny Golladay has or a true number one would have. Yeah. But the turnovers, that's totally within his control.
Right.
Like, I mean, I understand the offensive line in front of him is shaky, but he doesn't have to give the ball to the other team. So, I mean, that's one of those things where you look at it as like, okay, this is something that it is within your control, and the fact that you haven't fixed it after 2 full seasons, that's a little bit disturbing. Like, that's something I'm going to need him to get a handle on. But as far as John Mara's conviction on Daniel Jones, I will say this. You have to come out in support of your quarterback. you can always say that you believe in the player, you believe in the direction of the program, but he took it all the way up to, I think that he's capable of winning Super Bowls. And in a one-on-one interview with Ian O'Connor in the New York Post, I don't know if he necessarily needed to go down that road with Daniel Jones, because the last quarterback that they had that was a starter that won Super Bowls for him, in his second year, he took his team to the playoffs.
What else would you have him say, though,
Yeah.
Chris? How do you answer that question?
What I'm saying is you can say that you believe in your quarterback. I believe in Daniel Jones. We believe in him. He's our quarterback going into this season.
I feel like that also sets a tone, a standard for Daniel Jones. Like,
I like that.
I believe that you are a Super Bowl champion. And we talked about it multiple times. CC, on this show, we said, hey, look, this feels like this is a make or break year for Daniel Jones.
It is.
It's a make or break year. So if expectations are, hey, look, the NFC least has now become, I feel like, a really good division with the moves that the Cowboys have made, with what's going on in the Washington football team. I still think the Eagles are a little bit down there, but I think it'll be a double-digit winning season for the Giants. You have all the pieces around you. We've never seen you with Saquon Barkley both being healthy on the field for a sustainable amount of time. It's time to step up. This is your opportunity. If you don't, we'll have to make moves. But if expectations are for you to be a Super Bowl champion, you have to start living up to those expectations.
I like that. I like that. That's exactly it. Is if you're going to, he puts that out there in the world, and that's almost like the message to Daniel Jones. Yeah, we expect he's good enough to win a Super Bowl. Yeah, we believe that. So now he has to make us look good.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.